Do you hear noise? Is it stable? Hmm? Okay, great. Um, okay, so you've asked me about um, Python data structures. I wonder if there's anyone want to share some ideas from guys you did very well, and currently we are going to talk about lists and dictionaries and tuples and sets in Python. So, is any one of you prepared some questions or want to share something before we start? Or should we jump in directly to practical examples? Hi, Joe. Okay. Yeah, we can consider list as data structure. We can consider tuple as data structure. Let's say class is just a wrapper. It's not a data structure in itself, but it's, let's say, a data wrapper. Okay. So very good, very good. I really appreciate every single uh, collaboration in this call, and I really hate to talk alone. So let me start just by telling you that from the word data structure is it's not only to count many, like there's tuple, there's list, there's others, but it's actually a very wide range of structures for different uses. But today we are just going to talk about the built-in data structures that are in Python. Um, okay, let me show you here. I will start. I have some examples and I will develop some examples with you. So let's start by sharing the screen. Okay, I think you can see my screen now. Okay, yeah, let's start here as examples. Okay, so here I'm using a tool called Jupyter Notebook. It's just like you can use Python uh, inside inside text. Okay, let's say. So I can say here today we are going to talk about Python built-in data structures, and you can see here there's Markdown, there's code. So if I did Markdown, you'll have like a text edited here, and Raf knows that I like this tool a lot. Okay, so let's start from the beginning. Let's not jump from the basics. So I think you have tried this before. Raf, I'm hearing my noise. I'm hearing my echo. Just reduce this. Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. So the variable, basically, if I want to define the variable, it's just a storage. You are just going to store this value in memory, and this is the name of the value, and then you can put whatever you want. Here I've put a string, my text here. You can put numbers. You can put Boolean like true and false. But all of those are single value. Okay, so let's say variable is a single value in memory. And this single value can be many types, like strings, integers, etc. But in most cases, where we will have like many similar data items to be stored. So let me start by, okay, I will now store um, students' marks, okay? And for example, here I have Raf, Mostafa, Joe, and probably Oshama. So let's start by doing variables for students' marks. Okay, so here I have several marks. Everyone have its own mark. And let's assume a very simple problem I want to solve where I only want to print those marks. Okay, and to print those marks, I have to do a print statement for each one manually because it's stored in a single variable. And to see the benefit from new data structure, we can store all of those marks in one variable. And now I'm calling it variable. But this is a special variable where you can store many items, not single item. Okay. So look at this. I want to store all marks in a list. Okay. So instead of putting every variable alone, we're going to make a list of those in a list here. So this is a list. You can see this, those square brackets here, the yellow brackets. This is the syntax for list. So now if I want to print the list of marks, I can basically just do this. And let's see what's going on here. So previously we have this, and now we have list of marks like this one. Okay, so instead of doing several variables, we can store all of those values here, like this one. So we have several integers stored in a single list. And why is this so beneficial? Because I can access each one by number. So it's like you have numbered variables. Okay, so I can see here, this is the first item. I can have here second item. Okay, so it's marks test one. So this is a new concept. I can have numbered items, numbered variables. Instead of calling the variable by name, I can now call the variable by index. And this concept is where all lists are around. So let's say in summary, lists are indexed variable. Okay, so I can create, for example, a list of strings or list of, let's say, words like hello, Ghana Python programming. But instead of doing random strings, I will show you something special. Let's look at that. I want a list of words I would say when I am happy. Okay, look at that. List of happy words. Okay, you can see yay, hooray, oh, yippee, etc. So I have here list of words, and why it's something useful, because I can ask a user to say something, and then I can check any of those words in his speech. And actually, I have promised Raf. to make the session today to develop a smart agent to talk to only with basics. Okay, we are going to do it only with basics. So let's do more of those. Let's have a list of angry words. You can see this is like a list of something I would say when I'm angry. List of greetings, greetings word. You can see I'm doing list of strings, list of variables, not only single variable. And let's say, okay, this is a list of farewells. Let's do a list of questions. Let's do a list of question words. List of question words. What, when, where, etc. List of exclamations. So you can see here, I'm just defining lists of words. And now I can basically ask any user to say something. Okay, so this is user input. And I will say, hello, say something. And after the user is saying something, I want to check user input for any of the lists above. And how are we going to do this? It's basically very simple. If user input is in the list of happy words, then I will say, oh, you are happy. So, and the same way, look at that. If the user input is in list of angry words, oh, you are angry. You are greeting someone. You're saying goodbye. So I can detect user, let's say, behavior from the words that are inside his sentence. Okay, let's try this. Let's try this. But I will make it pretty simple just to, yeah, you mean sometimes when you see lots of code, you feel frustrated, but I will keep it like just happy, just happy, angry, and greetings. But before going into this, let's just review the syntax. You recall using if statement, and you recall using input. So this is basically a very simple input statement here. And then I'm getting this into an if statement and checking if this is a new, okay? If this text is in this list. So basically this is the syntax. If a word is in a list of words, okay? So this is what are we doing here? It's an if statement and an in statement. If this word in this list of words. So if the user input is in this list, then we will execute this print statement. Else, if user input is in this list, we are going to say you are angry. Okay? So let's try it now. You can see here, this is my input. Hello, say something. Okay, it's above. You can see it, Raf. Okay. Let me get this into a simpler place. Well, Jupyter Notebook is not the best for inputs. Okay, this is my smart agent.py. Okay. And now I'm going to open the terminal and we'll run my smart agent. Getting into the desktop and run the smart agent. Okay, so now it says, hello, say something. And I would say, yeah, I would say, yeah. So it detects that, says, okay, you are happy. I would say, hello, say, okay, you are greeting someone. But look at that. we have if statement, and finally we have else. When none of those conditions have been met, so it say, I don't know how you feel. So let's try it now. I'd say, hello, Raf. And it says, I don't know how you feel because it's checking the whole word, hello, Raf. It's not checking every word. And here comes the new function we'll talk about today, which is split. Look at that. If I have a text here, like hello, Raf, I can use the function split, which will generate a list. Now we are generating a list out of a longer string, okay? And you can say that I want to split based on space or based on comma or based on whatever you want. So, hello, Raf. How is it going? Um, I wonder if students have some time, are doing well. So now if I split this, you will find a list of several words splitted by space, okay? So what is the type that is generated here? It's a list. So we are generating a list of words out of those strings. And now we can go through each one of those and check the meaning of it. And we can just detect what's going on here using this code. Okay? So after I have split those words, let's try to get this if statement. Okay? And I will store the result here in words here. So look at that. I have several words. And then I have to check every word. I can go through words 0, here, and here, and here. Hmm. So here I'm checking the first word. Of course, it's not enough to check only one word, so I have to check another word. I have to check the words number 1. But how many words I have to check? I have to check them all, and they are a lot. Yes. So I'm now copy pasting. And when you start copy pasting code to change only the index, you know that you need a loop. Okay? So this is basically how loops are built. Instead of doing this repetition, the code can do the repetition for you. So I will say for word in words, and then I will do this. Hmm? So look at that. For every word in the list words, do this check. If word is in list of happy words, you are happy, etc., etc., etc. So now look at the output. Let's do this first. Hmm. We are defining our words. Okay. Go to the smart agent. This is our words. And then we are getting the long string from the user. And then we are splitting it. So I will get the user input and split it. And then I'm getting the words. And then I will say, for word in words, do this. Okay, and this is, let's just remove this break statement because we don't need it if and else are enough. So let's review the code. List of words, user input, split, and then for loop, and then bunch of if else statements. Let's see what we got. Okay, so hello, Raf. How is it going? I wonder if you would like to drink a cup of tea. Okay, so what we got here, when I said hello, it detects that you are greeting someone. Okay, so it said, hey, hello, Raf. So it detects the hello, and it said you are greeting someone. But look at that. We don't know which word is being parsed now. So let's add this. I wonder if you have learned F strings. Okay, no problem. We can do it like this. We can do print the word and the string of detection. Okay, so this is basic print statement feature. So now you can see the word, and then you can see that you're happy or you're angry or whatever. Okay, so let's see here. Hmm. Um, Again, oh, greetings. How is it going? So look at that. Hello, I don't know how you feel because there is a comma. You can see this. Now we know what's the problem. It's trying to get the whole word, but it's splitting on spaces. So it thought that this comma matters. Well, it's not. But okay, we will not put commas now. Hello, how is it going? Yeah, hmm, uh, going. Yeah. Mhm. So when I said hello, it detects that you are greeting someone. The rest is unknown, but then it detects that I'm happy. And okay, let's stop here for this example and read the code again. How many things are there? There is list of words, and we can grow this as much as we want. Okay. And then we have the user input, simple input statement. And then we have this split statement where it's generating words. And let's debug this. Let's say words are and print those. Troubleshooting is very important. And then we are looping through words and checking every word if it's in the list of happy words. Okay. So this is basically how are we going to build the application. So let's just try to find out why it didn't detect that how is a question, because how is a small case, right? Here, how is a small case, and in this how is small case, and this how questions, yeah, in the uppercase, and this one. So question words are in uppercase, but also we didn't add all the if statements. So let's add them all. Else if, do everything of every one of those. Question words, exclamations. Okay. So we have the happy, angry, greeting, farewells, etc. And then instead of comparing arbitrary case words, let's convert the word before compare, and let's convert all of those. I would say convert text to lowercase, please. Okay. So I just want to convert this. Mm, okay, I can convert it myself. I can get the user input to be lowercase and then split it. So whatever you write, like if is it capital or small, it will be converted to lowercase here. And then before I going into the list of words, I would like to just make every single one of those in lowercase. So let's do this through Python, okay? I want to go in list of question words. For every word in happy words, I want to make this a lowercase. But how are you going to do this? I want to store it again. So instead of going into the words like this, we will introduce a new type of looping into the list. I'd say for index in range, length of list of words. So let's see what we have here. This is a list. And now we are going to take the length of it and loop through the range from 0 to the length. So let's print something here just to see what are going. Let's get back here and let's start new code. Look at that. The list itself is just the words. So this is the list itself. But we can get the length of this list, which is the number of words there, the number of items. So this is a function that's applied to the list. And then if I have applied range to this length, you can see this is then a range from 0 to 8. And when you do a for loop, so like this one, index in a range, then you will have all of those items, okay? So you can now print index and you can print the item in the list with the index here, okay? So now we have access to the list by index, okay? And we can use this. So this is the index, and then we can use this to modify list of words. So we can say, I want the length, I want the item to be equal to this. Okay, let's try to read it again. This will be evaluated to range from 0 to whatever the length is, okay, like 8 or 7 or whatever. And then we have the index here, which is the order of the item. And for each one, we are modifying the variable. For example, here, yi will become lowercase I because we are modifying it, okay? And then let me just print this list here after the modification and exit the code, okay? Look at that. So this is the smart agent. You can see all of those are now lowercase, okay? So whenever we work with lists, we must work with loops also in most cases, because what is the benefit from list? We have several items, and then we have to loop through those items, okay? And to loop through items, we have those two ways, either to loop through index or to loop through the in statement. This is the for in, okay? Let's say for in. So we are iterating through the items, or we are going to use index to iterate through the item. Anyway, now we have, now, yeah, Rob. Yeah, please. Yep. Yes. Yeah, exactly. Um, you made me just think that I have to show the example of how to do this manually. So we have to do this like that. I have to go through them one by one and modifying them like this instead of just looping through the items. So this is the manual way. And as I said, when you see yourself repeating lines and changing index, you must use for loop. So absolutely right. So this is the manual way of modification, and this is the auto way, let's say, of modification. Yeah. When you see it manually, it's really um, explicit, and it's really simple to understand, but it's painful to write and painful to maintain. And the worst thing here is that you don't know the length of the list. You don't always know the list of the list. So you don't know where you want to stop. You don't always have only 8 items in the list, right? So you have to, yeah, you have to check that if the length of list is is bigger than 7, then let's go to the eighth item. So it would your code will look like this. You have to check every time the length of the list before getting into the index. And by the way, let's try to access. Here I will start a new list, and it will contain only 3 items. The first one, index, is start by 0 in Python. The second one is 1. The third one is 2. And if you try to access something not exist, you will get an exception. It's called index error, because you are trying to access the 11th item here and it's not exist to get list index out of range. So whenever you want to access an item, you have to check that the index is correct. Okay? And there's actually another interesting feature in Python lists. Let me show you list of my most beloved friends. And I would say it's just a simple list of strings A, B, and C. And now I would ask someone to tell me if this list is ordered, okay? So A is the most beloved and D is the least beloved. So if I want to know who is the most beloved, what's the index here I would put? Mhm. Yeah, yes, it's correct. And now I will say who is the least beloved? Do you know what I have to put here? Yeah, it's absolutely correct. Yes. I would say -1. -1 will get you index starting from here. And this is a feature in Python. So you can get in reverse. You can get into the list in reverse. So it's absolutely correct. And okay, so let's jump back here. And I know you've got lots of things here. And let's say that here we have data and here we have manipulation of data. Okay, let me remove this manual way. And now, you know what? If I want to go through all of those lists, I have to repeat myself again. You can see, look at that. I have to repeat again. Oh my God, look at how many for loops are here. And I'm just repeating. And let's recon the rule here. If we are repeating ourselves, then we have to do something. We have to use loops. Okay? Yeah. If you are repeating yourself, then there's a problem because computer can do the repetition. So why you are repeating yourself? But look at that. here we are not repeating and changing index, we are repeating and changing the variable name, the list name, right? And I want to maintain this. You know, you can put list of lists, but I want to maintain the happy word. I want to know that this is happy, this is angry, etc. So this is where we are jumping from those variable to a special variable called dictionary. So let's see how it looked like as a dictionary. Now I will have only one variable containing all of those and in the same time maintaining the feeling here or the meaning, let's say. Dictionary of words in corresponding emotions. Okay. So look at that. This variable calls emotion, and instead of the square brackets, I would use this curly brackets here. You can see. And now look at that syntax. A key and a value, a key and a value, a key and a value here. Okay? And guess what? This value is not a simple variable. This is a list. And now I have a single data structure holding all of my lists. And this will allow me to loop through them. And now this is the manual way. We are repeating the for loops. And if we want to not do this, I will loop through the dictionary. And look how simple is that now. That's it. I will explain, but look at that. Instead of doing this manually, we are now looping. And look, we have two for loops. It's nested. The second one is the same logic here. We are going into the index of words to convert each one to lowercase. But to get the list of words itself, we are looping through the dictionary. So let's explain this in a simpler term here. So I have here emotions. So I have here happy. And the list of words are, let's say, just yai and hooray. Okay, so that's it. And sad and angry. Okay, so that's it. And now look how we are manipulating this, or look how we are accessing this emotion. We start by adding here the key. So if I said happy, I will reach this line, okay? And the value of happy is this list. If I said, I want to go to the next one, emotions, sad, you are getting to the next one. And if I just try to get into an emotion that does not exist, so for example, I want to see emotions, hyper. So you would got key error because I don't have a key hyper in my dictionary. But if I go there and created this, so it's hyper, look at that. Again, I have to redefine this variable here. So now I'm getting the value of this key. So if we want to define dictionaries in simple words, they are just a map between a key and a value, okay? Between a key and a value. Let's try to create a new dictionary for, let's say, dictionary of people and their favorite colors. So Raf like blue, Mostafa like green, Joe like red, and Shao like yellow, okay? And now if I want to ask you, give me a name. So this is the name, and I will give you the color. The favorite color of the name is, and look at that. I will put the dictionary here, and I will pass the name as the key to retrieve the value. Because as we said, it's a map. It's a map between a key and a value. So let's try here. So I will try Mustafa, and we'd say the favorite color of Mustafa is green. How it how it reached this green? Because I gave him Mustafa, and it says, okay, in my map, Mustafa is mapped to green, so it will pick up green here. Okay, so let's try to do this manually. So the favorite color of Raf is blue. Okay, so this is a dictionary. You give it, and it's not an index, it's a key. This is the difference between dictionaries and lists. And basically, this is the only difference practically. The index is a key. It can be anything, any object. So now I can't do this. I can't say, give me the first favorite color, but I can do this. Okay. I give it the key. So getting back into the smart agent here, we have a dictionary of emotions as keys, and the values are the list of words. So look at that. I have the list of words here. And if you don't like to do this, we can directly write them here. Okay? So we can just do this. Mhm. This you are using VS Code or in yeah. This is a feature in VS Code. It's called multi-caret. You press Shift Alt, and then you press down, 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 and you will have several carets. Look at that. You can see. Yeah. Shift Alt, then you go down, down, down to create the carets. Yeah. 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 Text edit. Now look at that. I will now press Control X to cut all of those lists, and I will have just here greeting, angry, etc. And now I can put my caret, and now I will only press Alt and mouse click, Alt and mouse click. Okay, and now I will paste everything. Okay. Yes. Yeah. And now look at that. Um, I have here all of my data in the dictionary, and it happens that my dictionary contains capital and small, so I've converted it. So this is data, this is manipulation of data, and we don't need this anymore. Okay. And then let's start the code logic here. So here we are getting user input, converting to lowercase and split, and now we'll see the words here. And now look at that. We are repeating ourselves again here, right? Look at that. We are repeating ourselves. And because of our lovely dictionaries, you know what we can do here? We can loop through the dictionary itself. So we can say for emotion and words, this is the way we loop through dictionaries. We put the key value in emotions.items. So this function.items will extract key value every time. We are extracting key value. So now this for loop is the replacement of all of those if statements here, if else, if else, if. So we're looping through all of those emotions. And if the word we are parsing is in the words of this emotion, we would say this word means you are something. And that's it. Look how much of repetition we have omit now. The data contains all the structure. Then you have to loop through it. Okay, so let's try to to apply this. Let's try to run this. Okay, so say something. Hello, Raf. Um, how is it going? And then for some reason I got angry. Uh, I wonder why people are not here. Okay, and look at that. It extracted the words you can see, and then it will show me the words that detected. Hello, you are greeting. How, you are questioning. Are, you are angry. Why, you are questioning. You can see that it detects several words, and now it's kind of detecting what we are talking about. Okay, let me say, Raf, it is related, uh, but it's kind of the old school natural language processing. Okay, okay. Mm. So yeah, yes. You can have lots of ideas of parsing the text. For example, you can see here that I have the word is and it and the question mark, and then the word I, which refers to myself, and then are and not. So those are like grammar words, right? And for example, Raf is a name and people is referring to people. So you can detect those because usually the word after hello is a name, and usually the word after why is the center you are asking about. And for example, when you have a question mark, then you can split the question. So how is it going? Question mark. So you can say you are asking how is it going, right? So this is how it goes. Uh, so let me see what we can do here. Okay, so now we have this list of words, but you know what, Raf? We don't need those words in order. We don't need them in order at all. They are just a set of words. It's only a bunch of words that we want to use. So we don't need to use them as a list. We can jump into a new data structure. It's called the set. So we don't need the order. So look at that. In list, this is my list. It maintains order. So I can say my list 0, the index 0, or my list 2. But now I will create my set, and it will contain the same content, but I really don't care about index anymore. So there is no index here, but it will stay have this feature, the in feature. Okay. So is one in my set? Yes. Is two in my set? Yes. And this in here is much faster than the in my list. And to demonstrate this, if I still have time, look at that. I will create a very large list with one command. So I will convert the range from 0 to 1 million to a list. And now look at that. Is 50, if I don't know how many in LL, it will say true. Okay. Now, if I get this bigger, like 100 million. And let me show you performance of my RAM here. Look at that. Okay, this is the memory, okay? And if I have just deleted, yes, I will delete this variable and we'll create another very big one. Look at that. You can see the degradation in RAM here because I've just deleted the variable. It freed lots of memory here. When you create the variable, because it contains 100,000 number, look at that. You are you are storing them in RAM. You can see this? Exactly. So if I created the, let's say, 4 times the capacity, it will take lots of time. And at the same time, look at that, storing it in memory. So it's storing all of those numbers in memory. You can see? And when you are storing something in memory, yeah, exactly. Because you can always convert the word variable into storage in your mind. Whenever I say variable, list of variables, dictionary of variables, this is all in memory, in RAM. Okay? Now look at that. If I want to just um, to test if is 100 million in my list, you feel the weight. Look at that. We're waiting. Yes. Yeah. It took some time. Exactly. So is 200 million in the list? It took some time, right? Yeah. So now instead of doing this, I would like first to delete this LL. Even deletion takes time because you are freeing memory and you have to arrange this. So instead of doing this with a list, we are going to do this with a set now. So I'm converting this range into a set. Okay. And sets are kind of smart lists, but they are not ordered. And inside them, you can do lots of set operation, like in math. So you can uh, intersect sets, you can unify sets. Okay, yeah, exactly. Okay, no, it's actually, yeah, I have killed it because sets, because they are smart, they are consuming more capacity to store the tree inside because they are built like a tree inside. Okay, so you've seen when you create list, list may get the least capacity, but whenever you want to search inside it, you have to go through every single item one by one to search. Okay. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Now let's jump into the set functions. So I have now created two sets. Okay. I have this set and this set. And now if you want to start um, trying to understand what is the intersection, oh, please, sorry. Let's get this into the Jupyter notebook. This place is not the best one here. How much time left, or are we done? Sorry. Yeah, let's just see the sections here. Okay, okay. Mhm. So let's see what we have here. Okay, so I have here the first set and the second set. And if you ever have sets of objects or many sets of objects, and you want to perform like what is the intersection between those, what is the union of those, then you go with this data structure, especially for those kinds of operations. But usually, if you don't need to do those operations, then lists are fine. Okay, so this is basically um, what can I can say. But let me start here by I will do list of friends, set of friends, uh, with names like Raf, Mustafa, Joe, Oshamu. Okay, and this is the set of let's say family. And for my family, I would go with I don't know, Emily and brother brother Bob. Okay, so you can see here that uh, I have a an intersection between friends and family because, for example, Mustafa is my friend and he is also from my family. But if I want to union all of friends, let's say union all, I have to make a party and I want to union all of my friends and family, then I would go with union function. So I would create a set of all without the intersection being duplicated. So now you can see Mustafa's once appearing here. So this is the union function. Okay, anyway, I have to stop here. Probably I got more time than I have. Uh, but let's just summarize. We've talked about lists first. Let's jump to the beginning. We've talked about lists, that they are bunch of variables in order, and we've made a list of words here. Then we have learned how to get the length of the list, how to loop through the list with index, and also we've learned how to create a dictionary and how the dictionary is just a key value mapping, how to access the dictionary value through keys. And then we see also, of course, how to loop through lists here with for in with all dictionary. So if you have all of this more, you can have lots of keywords that you can detect. And if you want to see, actually, if you just want to make a practical application out of this, you can copy. Uh, when you do online shopping, there is the reviews for the product, and it's a long sentence, like someone is explaining his emotions with the product. So you can copy this text and analyze if this text is positive or negative by counting how many positive words he say or counting how many negative words he say, and then just compare positive and negative. So, and yeah, exactly. So this is our smart agent, and it's just a summary of dictionary, loop through dictionary with key values, loop through list words here, and that's it for today. I wish it was anyhow beneficial for you. Yeah. Yeah, actually, if you want to use sets, the best way to use sets here is to replace those lists with set, because this for when sorry here, if you check the check is costing. If word in words, this in is actually just implicitly looping through all of those one by one to detect if this word is in those words. So instead of doing that, I would do this. Look at that. After I have converted everything here, I would change the emotions, uh, or let me create emotions set, set of emotions set. So this is a new dictionary I would create, and this dictionary, look at that. The emotion set have the key emotion, and instead of getting the list of words, I will get the set of words. So um, look at that. This is the emotion, the normal emotions, and the emotion set. And let's exit here. And now you can see, oh, okay, let's go to desktop. Look at that. This is the first one. It have these square brackets here. And this is the second one. It have this curly braces. Yeah, yes. And the first one is the dictionary with key, string, and value list. The other one is key string and value set. And why we made this? Because when you are using this emotion set, the comparison, the checking if this word in words is much faster. It's much faster. Like if you have like 100 million words, you will do only 30 comparison to find out whether this word is inside words or not. We can do benchmarking if you want, like doing thousands of operations to detect if this is fast or slow. I can show you here. Yeah, yeah. Uh, yeah, maybe it's worth it. I don't, I don't consider myself explain sets or tuples. Okay, so we can talk about it if you want in next week. But um, I would say another feature of set is prevent repetition, repeated items. So if you have your list here, it contains many items and some of them is repeated, and then you convert list to set. So I would like to have uh, your set is, it would be clean from repetition. You can see here. And you can also, you can convert it back to a clean list, which is a list, but not duplicated, not duplicated here. So this is another use case for sets if you want to count. Yeah, here we are converting the list of words into set and assign it to key emotion in this set. Again, we can even make this code far more shorter with Python um, by using comprehension. It's just this. Yeah. So there is what is called set comprehension. So it's like saying, okay, my emotion set is emotion to a set of lowercase words for emotion and words in emotions. This is one liner instead of double for loops. It's like a sorcery here, witchcraft. Yeah. Actually, here this is the dictionary comprehension. This one inside. So this is the for loop that makes the dictionary comprehension, and this is actually a set comprehension here. I want to say, because if you don't want to make it set comprehension, you would just change this like that. Now this is a list comprehension. You see? Okay, but this is kind of complicated for starters, and I prefer to use the normal for loops. And of course, if you just try to loop through those yourself, you would learn more about it. Yep, yep. Uh, just to make this kind of useful, you have to create a counter, okay? Counter of emotions. So when you find the word, you don't just say you are happy or you are sad. No, you have to count those emotions, and then you just make this or analyze the emotion counter, because this emotion counter will tell how much happy or sad or whatever the the speaker was. So it will. Sorry. Yeah, 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 yeah. Let's say, let's go to Reddit. I don't know. Say, I wish I have some long text to copy. Okay. Hmm. Look at that. I will just press Control A and copy everything here. Um, but okay. Before that, let's just remove all enters here and make them like this. So this is single line now. So I want to say something, and then I have thrown all of this, and you can see we have detected only one question word. Okay. So if we have developed, there's more, like, let's create a list of emojis. We can do this. So this is emojis, love emojis. Okay. Mm, okay. Let's create angry emojis. Let's create happy emojis. Okay, you can see that? Okay. So when I got into my smart agent, yeah, go on. So what do we have here? We have four love emojis here. Okay. So what do you think, Raf? Yeah. 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 Absolutely. And, and you know, if I was to really develop this kind of sentiment analysis, I would go back and forth reading text and then find, oh great, I have to include the word amazing, for example. Amazing detection, for example. What the mean of amazing? It's something happy, or it's a question. Let's say that this person is happy, okay? So I'd say amazing, amazing, fantastic, awesome, excellent, superb. You can see. So I will improve. I will improve my code by getting into the real use case. So now when I get into the smart agents, then paste the whole content. Of course, if I'm pasting the whole content, this makes no sense, but I'm now detecting two happy words. Okay. They can go back and forth. Read your customers, whatever. It's saying, oh, great work. So great is a keyword. I guess when someone says, I guess, then he's interested. Look at that. Looks great. Thanks. I appreciate it, etc. You can just go and improve the code. And I'm sure you can develop some real application out of this. Okay. I'll send you the code and go and play with it. Any questions? Yep. Yep. Thank you, Raf. I have to clarify that. Let's say that this session was about sets and dictionaries because we didn't cover sets or tuples. And also I can show you some other data structures that are not standard in Python later. Uh, so let's arrange for a next session for sets and tuple and other data structures, please. And before I go to sleep, I want to ask you, um, ask them if they have find like this session is. You can hear me? Yeah, yeah. Can you hear me?